Amber Walker is coming up. She's a young mum who has managed to integrate a little bit of activity into her life. Like so many people who've been inspired post-Olympics, she's decided that it's time to kind of, get the body moving, shake a leg or several. And she's been involved in a Getting Fitter initiative in Huntingdon. We're going to be chatting with her, maybe her little one as well in a little while, because he's a big part of this too. That's coming up. We'll hear... you might well still be here a little later on, Amber, for You Say We Play, but what would be on your list of songs to play today?
I really like old music, so like Rod Stewart, Beatles, anything kind of older, not very cool.
Rod the Mod?
Yeah.
Rod the Mod? Okay, I'll bear that in mind for later. This is Amber Walker, who's from Huntingdon, who is a busy working mum. So always juggling things, always trying to make your time work really, really hard for yourself.
Yeah.
and often just, you get to the end of the day and you're exhausted, I'm sure. But you have been trying to integrate some exercise into your everyday life, haven't you? Not necessarily going to the gym or anything like that, just thinking a little bit about what you're eating and the kind of movement you're doing as well.
Yeah, more like walk somewhere. Don't take my car everywhere. Just maybe walk him to school. It's only 10 minutes. You can do it.
That's your little boy who's alongside. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Are you doing a lot of walking as well then?
Yeah.
Okay. You helping your mum on this project? Okay, because she can't do it without you.
And she had it before me.
Okay, so you're good for each other then. That's quite a team you've got going on there. So listen, we'll talk about this. It's called Sportivate. It's funded by Living Sport. And if you're inspired by what Amber has to say and her little boy has to say as well about how just integrating just simple walking, it's nothing more complicated than just walking into your daily life. We'll give you some details in just a little while. Amber's going to stay with us. Rod Stewart, huh?
Yes.
Rod Stewart. I thought you were going to say Kylie or something like that. It is 12:15. We'll talk more with Amber in a little while.
BBC Radio Cambridgeshire.
But for now, let's update you on the travel news. Hello there. Who am I? On BBC Radio Cambridgeshire this afternoon, we have Amber Walker and Amber's little boy, who's 5. Been allowed out at school specially to come and talk on the wireless, haven't you, today? Yeah, special dispensation from the teachers for being such a good lad. So let's talk a bit about you, Amber. You're 21. You've got a little boy here, and I know what it's like post-pregnancy, because it can be a bit hard to shift the lard, can't it? Was that the typical story for you?
Yeah, I kind of like, obviously, when you are pregnant, you kind of put on all that weight because I'm eating for 2, it's fine. So you pile on the weight and then you have the baby and you're like, oh dear, stuck with all this extra weight.
Everybody thinks that, but midwives and doctors actually say you don't need to do that. You need a little bit of extra calories.
Yeah, but not that, so you just pile it on anyway.
You don't need 2 plates of food, just a little bit extra.
Yeah. So it's just more like you kind of, and then you get to that part where you're stuck, like you can't kind of lose the weight anymore, and you're like, oh, it's fine, like I've had a baby, it's fine, I can be a little bit chubby for it, but then you kind of have to go, right, okay, I need to do something now.
And is that largely what motivated you to just think a little bit about integrating some exercise into what you do every day? Because you're not a gym goer or anything like that. We're not talking about, spending
hours killing yourself in the gym.
On those machines or lifting weights or whatever. And actually there is more of a focus now, isn't there, on just making exercise part of your day-to-day, the day-to-day flow of things, just walking that little bit more, or getting on the bike instead of getting in the car, or getting off the bus several stops earlier so you can walk it a little bit, and this is what you've tried to do. Did you have to sort of sit down and think quite carefully about it?
Yeah, at first, because before I kind of got the step count and I was like, oh yeah, I probably do loads of walking, then you put it on and you're like, oh, I don't walk anywhere. I thought that I wasn't so bad. And then now you just kind of have to think, like, I've got into the routine of it now, but you think, right, where can I walk? Or how about if I didn't take the car there, I could walk it instead? It'd only take me 10 minutes, so...
And this was it. You got yourself a pedometer, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you thought, there's so many thousands extra steps a day, because the recommendation is 10,000 steps a day?
Yeah, 10,000.
And you thought you were doing that already, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like, because where I work, I'm on my feet and we're rushing around all day. And the first kind of couple of weeks I wore it, I was on about 3,000 steps. I was like, oh no, that's really bad. So I had to kind of find little ways not obviously all at once, just bit by bit, just trying to go, how can I get like another 1,000 in today?
Yeah, and you start to think about actually how you move and where you move, and actually start to analyse a bit how your day is and why you're not taking the steps that you do, did you start to become a little bit kind of analytical about it?
Yeah, I was kind of like, so my excuse, because obviously taking him to school, I was like, oh, I drive, it's so much quicker, it's easier. And then I actually walk him to school that day, and you're like, oh, actually, it probably took about 5 minutes longer. It was just as easy, and kind of got to chat to him on the way. It wasn't...
You didn't have to fight other mums for parking spaces and things like that.
That's the worst bit.
Because, you know, it can be hellish out there, can't it? So let's talk to you. If mum's making the effort to walk you to and from school and walk to and from the shops, you had to go with her, didn't you? Yeah? Did you mind? You did mind at first. Did you say, Mum, can we just not get in the car? He's gone all shy now, hasn't he? But this is, you know, for a lot of people, this is kind of part of the pressure is, you know, if you're dropping off a little one at school or whatever, you know, it's kind of hard to get them to get their coat on in time, get their shoes on in time, get their hat on in time, and, you know, there's 10 minutes gone. So did you have to work very hard to get your little one to kind of copy what you were doing?
It was a little bit difficult to begin with, because obviously I always used to just take the car. It was, let's get in the car. So he was so used to it. So it kind of took a little while, a bit of teething, to actually get him to walk. But now I don't get the hassle anymore of, I don't want to walk.
Yeah.
So
does this mean that you're doing lots more sport in school as well? You're quite interested in sport? Yeah? Yeah, he's nodding. You're starting to realise what it means to be sort of fitter and healthier, because you can see Mum doing it. And actually, the welcome side effect of this is that actually you started to lose a little bit of weight. You started to think a little bit about eating and what you were eating and trying to ditch some of the really naughty stuff.
Yes.
Which was? What was your sin?
Mine, I'm really bad for like crisps or kind of just picking. Like, I'm not really hungry, but I'm like, I'll just go get some. I could just have like a bit of cheese out the fridge, or I'll just have a little chocolate bar or a packet of crisps. And it was just constant. And then now when I look at it, I'm like, I was eating so much in between, just mainly because I was bored.
Because again, when you see it, when you're encouraged to, I know people who encourage keeping a diary if you want to do weight loss, because it helps to see it written down. It helps to see what you're actually eating, because it's easy to forget. In the same way that seeing how many steps you've taken or not lays it a bit bare, doesn't it?
Yeah, like especially because with the step counter, you kind of, there's like a website that goes with it, and they've just created a new kind of app. You can get it on your phone, which is even more helpful. That before you eat something, you just take a picture of it, and it'll upload. So then, when you go on there later that day to put your steps in, you can see everything you've eaten. And that's the worst bit, because you're like, right, I've seen, and you can kind of judge whether it's good or bad. Which is fine, but then when you see it all at the end of the day and you're like, I ate all that stuff when I shouldn't have, so the next day you're like, no, because I've got to take that picture, I'm not eating it now, because it just makes you a bit more conscious and you think about it first. So
yeah, just it puts in that layer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Puts in that kind of stop.
Don't do it.
So have you, are you now kind of walking as much as possible? Are you going out on walks now, as well as walking to school, walking to the shops, walking where possible, leaving the car at home? Like,
my family are involved as well now, and we'll do like detours. So if my dad's low on his steps or something, we'll either just go to Tesco's just to get the steps, not to buy anything, just to go up there, or
just to go around there, walk around, then come back.
Or we've got a little route where we'll just take the longest route possible to walk from his house round and back to the house, just so he can get his steps in. But it's nice because I don't really, you don't really talk to your parents that much, so it's quite nice because we'll just kind of have a little chat while we're walking around. So it's kind of that nice one-to-one
takes you away
time
from the house, it takes you outside.
It's really nice.
And do you genuinely feel better for it as well?
Yeah, I kind of, now if I don't walk somewhere, I feel like I have to walk somewhere. I'm just like, I need to just get out and
stretch your legs a bit.
Go somewhere.
Yeah. And I know that feeling. Sort of get a bit twitchy, don't you? Even on a miserable day like today. So just 5 minutes. Walk around about 5 minutes. That'll do me. And this is what I love as well. You are so attached to your pedometer now, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh.
She wore it underneath her graduation gown, which I think that's pushing it a little bit far, actually.
I was like, there's a lot of walking involved in today. I am not missing out on these steps. I'm getting these steps in.
So that got you up to 10,000 even on the day you graduated.
Yeah, I wasn't losing out on those steps.
So you're feeling better for it. You're looking better for it as well. You reckon you've lost 2 stone?
Yeah, nearly 2 stone now. So £1 away.
£1 away
Yeah.
from Target or just?
Well, just from Two Stone. Still got a bit of a target, but
And you've become a bit of a figurehead, haven't you, for Living Sport and Activ8rlives as well, haven't you? Just to show that it can be done. It's not about buying gym membership. It's not necessarily about getting on your bike, which for a lot of people, it's expense, it's hassle. Where do you keep a bike? You can integrate a bit of exercise, a bit of healthy living into what you do day by day, and it actually doesn't take away an awful lot from how you live anyway.
yeah, it's so when you stop going, oh, I need to go to the gym, when you just think, I'll just walk somewhere today, it's so much easier to just take it step by step, just say, right, I'm just going to walk to the shop today, and then I'll drive everywhere else, but just today I'll walk, and then the next week you can just keep trying to walk that a little bit further. You don't need to kill yourself in the gym to do it.
Do you know other people who are part of this project?
Yeah, I've got
Activ8rlives.
Obviously, I've got all of my family involved, and I've got my son involved, like my boyfriend, sister's boyfriends, got like a whole bunch of people. But it's nice because there's like a little community online.
Do you know what? It sounds like they've got no option.
They don't. I was like, you are doing this with me. He's nodding.
Like it or not, you're in for the ride here.
Oh, but it's nice though because like my family are quite overweight as well, so you can just see the changes in them as well that they actually enjoy doing. And you find that if you don't do 10,000 steps, like you have to, it's addictive. You're like, I have to do these steps today. So, and there's a community online, so there's a
walk
bunch
around the kitchen a million times just to make it up.
I do that. If I've got like 100 steps left, I will just walk around the house until I get those steps in.
I think you're an absolute inspiration, and you're one of about 300 people at the moment who are sharing their fitness journey in attempting to do 10,000 steps a day as part of the Activ8rlives community. If there are people listening who think, if it's as simple as this, can I be part of it? Can they join in? Yeah,
I know that the scheme is based for 14 to 25-year-olds, I think, but I think if you just get in touch. Yeah,
I've got the number here, and we'll make sure we Facebook this a little bit later on as well. It's 01480 352821. To sign up about it, to inquire about eligibility, to inquire how you get a pedometer as well, which you can buy relatively cheaply, but I know the guys will help you out. 01480 352821. This is the brainchild of Kevin Orton, who realised that actually it's about doing it in a group. It's about mass participation.
Yeah.
Doing it by yourself can be so difficult, but when other people are around and supporting you and part of what you're doing, it makes it a little bit better. I know that he's got his whole family involved, and you've got your whole family involved as well, even the littlest one.
Yeah. Very quiet today for a change.
How many steps has Mummy done today? Do you know?
How many have I done?
No, he's keeping stum, isn't he?
10,000 and...
Already?
10,053.
10,050, and it's only lunchtime.
Yeah, I know. How many are you on though?
Only 5,300.
Oh, you've got to play catch up today, haven't you?
Still got the rest of the day. We've got the walk home yet.
I need to do 5,000 more.
You do, yeah. Otherwise, you'll have to do more tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's absolutely fantastic to meet both of you, particularly you, sitting quietly. Going all quiet in the background, and Amber as well. Will you come back sometime? Maybe let us know how the project's getting on.
Come back to the radio again, Zach?
Yeah, he's nodding. No worries. Thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us today on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire. Let's look at the weather forecast today. 10 Celsius, 50 Fahrenheit.